Hello, hello. Welcome to Mindset, Motivation, and Mastery. Wow, are you getting feedback there, or is that just me?
I hear you just fine, man.
Okay, good. So listen, today we're talking with Mr. Albert Pavon. Albert is an agent out of Florida. Him and I have been friends for years. I don't like to admit that, to everybody, but today we'll just admit it. I know Albert likes to brag about it. It's weird, but it is what it is.
Is this recorded? Because I want to save this.
Oh, you want to save it? Okay, you want to save it? Yeah. Okay. Good. No, listen. So I'm all about like systems. Like I've done thousands and thousands of coaching calls, as a coach, and one of the things that mesmerizes me or surprises me is how many agents, not like, we're not talking agents that aren't successful. We're talking how many agents that are like killing it are still flying by the seat of their pants. Like I get into a relationship with them and they're doing like great business, and I go, okay, share with me your plan. And they look at me and go, I don't have one. Right. So like, I'm all about, like, I believe that, man, matter of fact, maybe when I met you, that was our conversation. I don't know. But, here's the reality of it. What I really appreciate with you is that we've really worked on building kind of these lead source plans or plans in your business, and you have become very systematic. So like, I know today we're specifically talking about real estate farming, but like for you, planning and setting up these plans, are all across the board, whether it's with your sphere of influence, your firm, social media, anything that you do, you've now become very systematic. So before I jump into farming, like, talk to me about like what you found, why does that work so well for you?
Well, let's just say, because I understand what you're telling me about agents and not having a plan.
Yeah, because you run a brokerage, right? Because you run a brokerage, so you have agents in your brokerage, so you probably experience the same thing.
Yeah, and I have to say, the part that they probably love and hate about meeting with me about their business is every time we talk and they want to add another pillar of business so that they get more business, I say, all right, let's talk about the plan. And they're like, well, I want to do exactly what I'm doing with the other one. All right, let's go in depth in the other plan. Well, wait a minute. So yeah, I have to say though, I was one of those agents also. I mean, I've been doing it for 15 years, and it wasn't until I got into a coaching program that it became clear that if you do want to grow, you better have a plan per pillar.
Yeah.
But the part that I really love about all this planning is that kind of bleeds into the next pillar, into the next pillar. And that's something we'll cover today when we're talking about farming, but it starts to open up even more business down the road. So it's super, super important, not only to have the plan, but to execute it.
Oh, that's interesting. Or to follow it, right? Like, I mean, I'm working right now with, obviously, Tom Ferry's starting to put out his plan for next year. And I'm starting to look at that and go, okay, so what do we need to look at going into 2021? Because people are going like, Jared, it's only the, October 1st. Why are you talking about business planning? But like, now is when we start planning and executing, because 2021, really starts in the next 30 to 60 days, right? So I'm really looking at that. One of the things that Tom does really well, and you are in the program with us, so Tom does really well is breaks down all of that stuff, so we got a clear direction of where we go. And you've been masterful on, like, I know that you send me your stuff, and I know I'm hard on you, but listen, I brag about you all the time, and I show your plans, because like you go outside of Tom's business plan and you go, okay, I want to get more clear on this. And I love how you break it down. Hey, what tools do I need in order to execute this plan, or what tools do I have that I need to use? Because here's the other thing: so many agents have tools that they just don't use, right? So, what tools do I need? What are the different, I guess, channels that I'm using, in each of my plans, and then how am I executing and what my commitments are, right? So I love that.
Well, I understand also the pain that comes with it when I have to go talk to you, and we have to go by these steps, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and I don't like pain. I don't like pain. So, okay. I like to do what I say I'm going to do, and then make it happen. So
yeah, it's so funny because like this morning, I at 9:20, we were getting into the kind of the studio this morning, and I get a text from Albert. You're not gonna believe this. My internet is out. And I'm like, he sends me a picture of his internet, and I could just see in my head you're freaking out because like, oh my god, I got to get on this. So like,
because I came in early to plan. I wanted to know exactly how it's gonna happen, and of course, the way life has it, I got punched in the face, but we're here now.
You figured it out. You figured it out. Yeah, I don't know if you got somebody out in your office like on a pedal bike trying to get some internet running, but whatever. You're here, and this looks good. You look great. You look great.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so let's jump into farming because I think farming is one of those things that, I mean, I've been in real estate 24 years. You've been in it 15 years. You think that like way back when, farming was like sending out a postcard. So many people got this misconception now of farming that they're just like, oh, sending out a postcard's not working. And I think we're coming back around, in our industry where now farming is becoming a really, huge piece of our business. Mm-hmm. Again, with Tom, he talks about it all the time, is one of our key probably business sources, truthfully.
Yeah.
So, you've kind of taken farming from, hey, I'm going to send out a postcard, all the way up to, listen, my job is to get so much exposure in my community that people, can't help but know who I am and at least call me and give me a shot at it, right? Like, I mean, you're that's what you've done, and it's well beyond the kind of the mindset that a lot of agents have where, hey, I'm just going to send out a postcard. Not that you don't, because like I think you have a regular mailing that goes out all the time, right? So there you go, right? Like a regular mailing that goes out. 'Cause here's the truth. People's mailboxes aren't full anymore like they used to be. That's the good part, right? So your piece stands out. So talk to me a little bit, like what tools, for you to launch farming, what tools are you using specifically kind of to take the plan from, hey, this is what we're going to be doing in our farm all the way to, hey, we use this, and this is how we use it. So give me a breakdown of that.
So I think it's real important to talk about the tools you're going to use and then break out how you plan on using those tools. And we call those touches. So we take the tools and then we say, well, how many times will that tool touch somebody inside the farm? So we're going to break it up in a couple different categories. Video, say video / YouTube. So we'll have educational videos for sellers and buyers who are trying to come into the community, kind of give them tips, but it also educates our sellers on what the process would be like and what to expect, deal killers, things like that. We use software like, for example, BombBomb, which is also still video. One of the things that we love about BombBomb is that it's very trackable. So on the back end of that system, we can see who's actually watching it. And what we're really looking for is who's opening it the most, the most times, let's say. Those are the people that get the most important phone call from us. If they're obviously watching it, they're interested. If they watch it one time, well, they're just watching our video. But if they watch it 5 times, they're getting our good fancy phone call. We also use a lot of drip campaigns. So email blast, we have a scheduled date. So one of the most important things is we know I do have an admin and a buyer's agent, but one of the most important things is we know our Monday meeting. We already know what's going to go out on Tuesday. We know what's going to go out on Wednesday. If we have an open house, we know what we have to do on Thursday. So, and it all gets calendared out so it doesn't get missed. But another using that constant contact, MailChimp, these email blast systems, they also give you a back end data. So they give you information as well. That's another tool that we use. Obviously, we have a CRM. So we do happen to do a lot of open houses in our farm. So we're constantly collecting data from everybody. So that gets inputted into a very specific bucket for our farm itself. So those are the people that are constantly getting updates from us. The biggest goal here is...
I'm going to interrupt you just for a second because I think one of the biggest things that I hear in farms is, oh, we don't have their information. We can't get in touch with them. And one of the things that you touched on is you're constantly, collecting data from that farm intentionally so that you have it. So you look at your email blast, well, I can't send an email blast out. I don't have everybody's email. Well, listen, here's the reality. You don't have everybody's email in your farm either, probably, do you?
No,
right? Yeah. but you do what you have, and you're always constantly contacting or reaching out to get data in so many different ways. So I just want to point that out because it's one of people's blocks.
Well, look, like Tony Robbins says, it's not lack of resources. You have to be resourceful. You know. So we have two forms when we have an open house of collecting a buyer's information or that seller's information. Everybody has to register. Well, everybody likes to write really sloppy so that you can't actually get their email right. So we have also an iPad. So they have to register on the iPad itself. And now with COVID, we wipe it down after each person, but that has helped us collect better data. That's helped us, upgrade our way of getting that information. So it's super important to do everything you can. Now, also, you should be looking at community pages. So if there isn't a community page for your farm, you need to go create one. But if there is a community page, and a lot of them are controlled by an admin, so you have to know somebody or be invited, but you can go into each one of those people and look at their about info, see if they've shared their email or their phone number. That's a way to collect data as well.
And so when you say community page, just to be clear, Facebook community page.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we'll touch also on social media, So we use social media a lot for us. And our biggest thing is no matter what we boost, we boost everything inside of our farm. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg is very intelligent answering to his shareholders. You don't spend money, nobody sees your stuff, So our open houses, anything that we send out on an email campaign also gets posted on social media that same day at the same time.
Okay, hold on, because this is the deal here. This is what I hear, right? I'm putting it out there because I want everybody to, when they're telling themselves these stories, right? These stories of, well, listen, I can't target like I used to with social media. So, why would I spend money if I can't target as close as I want? What do you say to that?
Who gives a crap? Now your net is a lot bigger.
straight from the horse's mouth. Who gives a crap? No, so when you're putting it out there, you're trying to target as close as you can. Listen, you're going to hit all kinds of people, but who cares, right? As long as you're getting the people you want.
Well, I look at this too. Just from us farming in a certain area, we get business outside of our area from people who see us so consistently. So they, I go on appointments where they said, hey, I know that I'm not in this neighborhood, but will you come and see if we can sell my house? Well, yeah, we go beyond that area. So drop the pin in the middle of your farm and don't worry about the 15 miles around it.
Yeah.
So that's the most important. It's the consistency of it.
Good.
So obviously the other tool is our little trusted phones, with calls and text messages. And then I have postcards on here, the obvious, but another tool that we use is Zillow. I think it's really important that before you go farm somewhere, that you understand who that lead agent could be, so that you understand, hey, who's my competition? And you get to see what you need to do moving forward. Because I find a lot of the issue when I see a new realtor wanting to go on a farm and not having a plan is that they'll send out 2 months worth of postcards and they say, oh, this isn't working. And they don't understand that, I don't want to call it a takeover, but before you can take over someone's farm, if there is a dominant agent, it's going to be a good 12, 18 months before you start seeing a return.
Yeah.
I looked real quick before we got on the call, but we had a 7 times on our money ROI in our farm last year, so it's just the consistency of it. So
and I'm going to say, but you spend quite a bit of money in your farm. So when you say 7 times ROI, you're not just looking at, we get 7 times the amount that we spend on postcards. I mean, you spend other money than just that on, in your farm. So get 7 times ROI is pretty good. Well,
that's why we're targeting more farms now.
Well, I was going to say that because when you said you get business outside of your farm, what you noticed, last year for this year is that you now spread your farm because, hey, man, now I'm getting more business outside of the farm as well. So now our opportunity to touch those people in the outside. So we expanded the farm this year.
You have to track and measure everything you're doing. we have it down to the zip code it's coming from, the source it's coming from. And when you're looking at farm, because that's what we're talking about today, you can kind of track when's going to be your busiest season and when it slows down as well. Like when COVID started, I saw everybody who was trying to also go after my farm just go away. And we ramped it up. We wanted to not only show that we were still selling homes, but we wanted to show how we were doing it safely.
And opportunity for market share. Like for me, when I look at things like COVID that's happened, it's an opportunity for you to collect market share, because you're 100% right. Agents disappear and now you're there. So you collect market share, and obviously you're doing it right with the, COVID and protecting.
Yeah. Well, I get a question from my office manager who says, well, what should we do? Should we get ready for it? Should we back up? And I was like, no, we're going in deeper and harder. Because I knew a lot of people were going to start backing up and trying to get ready for winter,
Yeah.
But let me tell you, it has given us a slingshot, because since we've been there so much, our phone now is ringing like crazy on people. And from doing so much business in the farm, we're able to pair up buyers already with listings that we're getting in the farm, which is another conversation for another day.
Yeah, which is even before it hits the market, you're able to pair them up, which is amazing, especially in a market like we're at right now.
Yeah. So I would say tool wise, we cover postcards, email, CRM, YouTube video, constant drip campaigns, and drip campaigns done with video as well. Our open rate on video campaigns is so much bigger than a regular drip campaign.
Well, that's funny. So what Tom says about video being better is actually true. You should do video. Interesting.
Yeah, but I got to make sure my hair's okay.
Yeah, listen, again, your videos are pretty stellar. Like you do a good job with your videos. I just think you should do more of them, because you do a great job with them. And you actually look pretty good. I mean, listen, I got a face for radio, but like you actually. What was that?
That's two compliments.
Two compliments. So don't get too excited about it. But I got a face for radio. You at least look good in video. So no, that's awesome. So talk to me specifically, when we say you mentioned, hey, I create a community page. I market that community page to try and get people in. When they come in, then now I'm trying to collect data from them. Mm-hmm. And then you use that community page and you put your videos on it to talk about real estate, you all of that sort of stuff. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, well, I try not to spam it like crazy. You want to be posting other things that are happening within the community. And then when you have your open house, you want to announce that you're having an open house. So you don't want to bombard it with all real estate, because the community page, people want to know what else is happening within the community. You also have to attend community events in your farm when possible, and the biggest thing is, for you farm, you got to target the right farm. You got to make sure there's enough turnover. A lot of people target the farm they live in, but you got to make sure that the right turnover is in there as well.
Okay. So explain that really quickly, just so that people understand when you say turnover, what do you mean?
So depending on the price point, I would say you look at a 12-month span of time on, let's say you pull it up on your MLS. You want to see if you're targeting 1,000 homes, you want to see that there's a 6 to 8% turnover rate. Okay. You want to see that enough people are selling within that farm before you decide to go start dumping money into it.
Okay, so 12 months, how many sold in 12 months, and then how many homes are in that community? And that's the ratio you would use to figure out the turnover.
Figure out there's a percentage of turnover.
Yeah.
And make sure it's enough for you to go after.
That was a lesson I learned with Tom a long time ago. I think I spent tons of money on a farm, and it was the community across from my home. I knew the community, and it was a higher price community because I was trying to, get my average sale price up. And I think two homes sold in that neighborhood the year before. So I had a chance to sell 2 homes in that neighborhood, and I didn't look at the data. I just said, man, this is where I want to go, and I'm just gonna jump right into it until Tom said, okay, number one, like that price point isn't selling in your area very much. There's not very much turnover in the price point itself. And number two, there's no movement in there. So why don't you look for a price point where it's turnover? So my price point again went down a little bit, but then I went to a community that had great turnover, and my, again, my farming efforts twisted around like that, right? So
yeah. Well, like something that I work a lot with the realtors, when they tell me they want to target a new farm, and we look at this formula, the second part that we set up is their bank account. So we set up an actual account for their marketing, because we want to make sure that every check that comes in, they have a certain percentage of that check go into that marketing account, so that you don't have to stop marketing if you happen to have a slow month.
Nice. Yeah.
So because so many will stop after that 2 or 3 months. And the other thing we do is, a lot of them say, well, how do I figure out how to get 1,000 home addresses? Call your title rep. Don't try to do it all yourself. Count on the people you already do business with. Have them help you. Once they give you that information, go find out who does postcards, find out that price. And then a lot of the times we try to set up a 6 months reserve before we start that farm to make sure that we have 6 months worth of postcards that are going out.
Yeah.
When we specifically start a new farm, we know, hey, for 6 months straight, we're doing 2 postcards per month. So we got to get a little more cushion in there to make sure we keep it up.
Yeah.
And I would say the other thing that really freezes them up is, well, have I sold a property in there? I can't send it just listed, just sold. Well, look to see what reviews you have in that farm. See if you have a past sale where you can get a review from that person for that farm. Some people just want to hear something positive that you've done for somebody, and they have that same situation.
Yeah.
So every piece that we send out, yeah, it does say just listed, just sold, but sometimes we send out market stats. Sometimes we just say, have you thought about selling? Are you still on the fence? So you can come up with generic postcards. And I'll tell you the secret is plan those 6 out, so that every month you don't have a 15-day delay thinking about what the heck you're going to do. So,
yeah. I always say if you're gonna start a farm, you need 2 things: patience and consistency. Right? What was that?
And a little bit of money.
Okay, and a little bit of money, but true. But still, like if you're not patient, a farm is not gonna work. And if you're not consistent, it's absolutely not gonna work, right? So if you have those 2 things and a little bit of money, then you can definitely get rolling, and then take advantage of every opportunity. Like you said, like testimonial videos. Even if it's a buyer and they bought in your farm, again, get a testimonial video, utilize that video as an opportunity to market into that area. Love it. Okay. How many touches do you, like when you look at your email stuff? I know you don't have all the email addresses and you set up a system to get them. Like I get all of the things that agents tell their, the story about. How many touches do you typically would send out in an email, like in a year?
Well, definitely 52 without a doubt. So I would say 52. So one happens each week in our farm.
Okay. Did you hear that, folks? 52. Like not I'm going to do one a month, but like, again, 52 again gets you top of mind. Sorry, go ahead, Albert.
I think the part they have to get over is, I'm bothering them. I always say, have you ever bought something at a department store and gave them your email? Like, they don't care. I get an email every day of, I got this gift card for you. I got this color that you might like. They don't care. The people that don't want to see it will unsubscribe. So just figure that out. So we got 52. So just if you looked at my plan right now, our plan has 66 touches just for our email campaign that we have. 52 weekly. Anytime we have an open house, they're going to get one. We try to plan at minimum 12 open houses a year in the farm. At minimum, we have to have it. You're going to get also 2 emails each. We have it in June and we have it in December if you had any thoughts of selling. So right when school's done, a lot of people like to move during the summer. And then a lot of people start thinking about it after the holidays. What's the next year looking like and stuff like that. So we also have those 2 main ones that we push as well. So email itself at 66 touches always.
Nice. And then what about direct mail? Like, what's your direct mail plan? from when you take over a new farm, like when you're entering into a new farm, to your consistent, over the year?
So I would say breaking into a new farm, we're 18 postcards per year, breaking into a new one. So,
okay, at least.
Right.
Okay.
Once we've had, I don't want to call it control of the farm, but once we do enough business in the farm, easily 12 postcards will go out. So we always plan it on the first day of the month for when it's going to go out. But as we pick up another listing, we do send out another postcard. If we do sell one, we will send out a just sold postcard as well.
So on average, between your consistent postcards that go out and your listings, they're probably getting 2 a month at some point, right? Which is what we, love it. And then again, just touch really quickly. I know we talked a little bit about it, but your social media, like when you look at social media, what kind of videos are you posting in there? Like, or what kind of videos would you target your farm with?
So we try to do a lot of coming soon videos. Now this has become a touchy subject on how you can do coming soon. So if you're watching this, talk to your board, look at the new rules from NAR, talk to your broker, because it's real important that you follow the rules doing coming soon. I always feel goofy as heck doing them, but as soon as we take the listing, we're outside with a photographer or something, we'll just do it we'll just go on live real quick and just say, hey, we're here at our newest listing at 123 Main Street, and it's going to be coming soon to the market. If you have any questions, shoot us a text, and you'd be surprised how many people message you. Where is it? When can I see pictures? And then you say, hey, let me just get your email. As soon as I get these pictures back, I'll send it out to you. The new rule is we have to have it in the MLS as coming soon within 24 hours. So you can record the video beforehand, have it in your MLS, and then shoot let the video go out, I guess I should say.
It's all about timing, right? It's all about timing. And that's what I always tell people. Like, it's all about timing. And if you have coming soon rules in your board or in your area, follow the rules, but it's all about timing. So if you can get it out there, and it's all about content, like what are you putting out there? Like there's nothing, anyway, follow the rules.
Yeah, well, we do video for the coming soon. We do video for the open houses. Okay. And then we have our normal videos that on our YouTube series that go that not only does that go out on an email blast, but that also goes on our social media as well. Right. So those are the videos that we're always doing.
Good. Okay. So, nothing so crazy or so expensive that the average agent couldn't do. It's not that you have this video crew that follows you around other than the paparazzi, which probably follows you around, but other than those people, you're used to it. In your farm, you go in the farm and everyone's like taking pictures. It's Albert Pavon. Other than that, you're not hiring this film crew to follow you around all the time with your video. Obviously I know your video. So you do some, you do in your series, they're more professional shot videos, but for the most part, outside of that, they're not professional shot videos. Right? No.
Well, look, you want to show people obviously the professional side and the quality you could do, but you also want to show people the real you. You don't want this professional guy this way, and then someone else shows up later on. So it's like that picture that you took from 1993, and it's still on your real estate card.
This is all due respect, but when I was doing this, I went to look for a picture for you, and I think your picture on your Facebook looks like you're 10. I don't know. I'm just calling you out because I did see it.
I did have this when I was 10. So I will double check and make sure. So I did grow a facial hair very early in my life.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So if an agent was said to you, Lemon, is it really worth me doing a farm? We're at 30 minutes. So if they said, hey, is it worth me doing a farm? What would you say to them?
Absolutely. If the numbers make sense first, don't just say I'm going to do a farm and then not look at the numbers.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you, get the right parties involved. Have your title company come in and help you figure out addresses. They can tell you price point. They can tell you who's a second homeowner. There's a whole separate farm there in itself. But I would tell you, study the data, of that farm, put your plan together, and then commit to that plan. and you don't stop that plan. If no business comes in, do not stop it. Another opportunity I think a lot of realtors miss in their farm are obviously the for sale by owners and the expired listings. You know, they're always afraid because they haven't done business inside of that farm. And there's ways to go hunt for that business. The other important thing is know your farm. If you decide you're going to go farm somewhere, go preview homes. You know, this amazing license that we have does give us access to homes. Because remember, the sellers you're meeting with do know about those other homes on the market. You want to be able to talk about those homes as well. So you got to go full guerrilla when you make a decision on farming to take these steps to really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I always say that, well, I don't, look for the opportunity within the farm, which we talk expireds, FSBOs, like double down on trying to get those, double down on communicating, look for old expireds in there, like double down on those, because the more you can capture, they're better. Like, and so listen, everyone's like, oh, I got to have all these listings in the farm. Well, in today's business, there's how many listings do you have right now in your farm?
I probably have 3 currently, and I have an appointment on Tuesday for my farm, and I have one right now that's temp off market.
So
I'm counting the one that I'm going to on Tuesday.
Okay.
They only want to speak to me. So.
Okay, there you go. See, it's the paparazzi thing when you're going around the community, right? So it's not like you have all of these listings in this market right now to farm. You just got to maximize the opportunity that you have in your farm for marketing, for advertising, and for getting data. Dude, listen, I appreciate you coming on here today. Tell people what your market is, how they get in touch with you, give them your phone number, give them, all of the stuff that they need to get in touch with you if they have any questions. Don't give them my number. Just make sure it's your number. Like you did last time. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll send a message out to everybody after this. No, I'm in West Palm Beach, Florida. I cover anywhere from Jupiter to Wellington to Boynton Beach. I would say that would be the area that I cover. I can be reached at 561-644-2201. You can look me up on social media under Pavon Realty Group. My email, Albert Pavon, just like the name, no dot, no space, @gmail.com. It's the easiest way. But always feel free, if you have any other questions, text me, call me. We probably do about 8 to 10 referrals every year from sending out business to other agents and business coming into us as well. So
don't hesitate if you got somebody in that area, or ultimately if they own a second home there, because I think, Albert, your area is like full of second home owners, whether from Canada or from wherever. Like,
it's Canadians, but
they're great. They're great.
So we do have a big second home market here.
Good. All right, my friend. I appreciate you being on. I appreciate all the knowledge. I think there's tons of nuggets in there for any agent that wants to do the farming and really go all in. And anyway, man, I appreciate you, and have an amazing weekend.
I appreciate you having me on here, and thank you. Hopefully we do it again.
Later, brother.
All right. Thank you.